Good morning. So, I want to talk about as you begin to shift on the twin flame journey. So, as you begin to shift, it stops being about them, it starts being about you. You have to find a way to really let go, to really let them go, to take your focus and quit looking in that direction, shift your focus somewhere else into your own life. When you begin to shift, then the journey begins to be about your own internal life. And when you get to the level where the shift begins to happen, you are at a place where you are already have gotten to a place where you know your own self-worth, and the journey stops being about them trying to make you happy, and rather you bring the focus back to you, and you find the things within your life that make you happy. It starts being about, how can I enrich my life? How can I take the reins back in my life and start making my life a magnificent? What are the things that interest me? Where are the places that what makes me happy? Where are the places that I want to put my focus? What kind of life do I want to create for myself? It stops being about the chase, and it starts being about enriching your own self and bringing your own self into that place of pure knowing that you are divine, and rising into this place that feels like you are living this in a that all options are open. All options become open for you, and you start seeing that you can move through life with creating your own reality. You start seeing what a powerful being you are, and that in a way of you are a divine being, you are of God, you have the power of creation within you, and whatever you make your life to be, that's what it will be. This journey is about coming back to self, and you really have to find a way, right? This is the scariest thing to face, is find a way to really release them and let them go. Um, and this can't be in a superficial way. This has to be a true release. What is meant for you will come back to you. What is meant for you will come. But in the meantime, you make your life so enriched that it doesn't matter. Um, whatever you allow in your life is going to be in sync with your vibration. I wrote down some things last night. I was having some downloads, and so it's the journey. This journey is about your own self-worth. So it's finding your own self-worth and your own divinity. Whenever you are looking outside of yourself for your self-worth, and for you to feel okay within yourself, then you are belittling yourself. You are making yourself small. You are in that desperate feeling of unworthiness. And think about it. As long as you are chasing, and as long as you are putting your happiness outside of yourself, you don't have that added value. Your life isn't whole and complete and held up. You want to make a cocoon around your life, like a protective cocoon, that anything that comes into it is soft and warm and feels right, and comes in from a place of purpose, and a place of, you know, no guesswork. So it's not whatever comes to me in life I'm going to allow into my space. No, you build a cocoon around yourself, that you only allow in what resonates perfectly within harmony with you, and you don't have to chase anything to come into that space. It's more like a magnetic field. You're creating this magnetic cocoon. You're inside of your own world, and you are making it rich within, and and whatever does not belong in that world, you're holding out. Um, Vibrationally, it's not, there is no effort in it. And so when you create that magnetic field, and you create that place of peace within your home life, within yourself, right? It starts within yourself, and then you make this wonderful cocoon, this magnificent wonderland around you that is your life, right? Because we're each our own universe. We each have our own world. We're each living in our own world regardless. You can either make your world about and around someone else, or you can make your world about and around you. So, and make, another message that has been coming to me again and again and again is cherish what you love, be in appreciation. So if you have children, if you have animals, if you have your home should be the place that everything that you love comes together. If you have, you cherish what you love, protect what you love, treat it with love, treat it with appreciation. And whatever doesn't belong to you right now, I'm coming into a place where I'm going to start emptying out my house again, taking out all the things that don't spark that um, spark joy in my life. That I feel like I have placed this here in my life with purpose and of choice, not things that have randomly come in. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can use that. Another thing that I'm going to be working on in the next few days is my closet. I'm going to empty out all of the material that isn't cotton or natural materials, because it stops your vibration. Notice if when you put plastic on something, it's not a conductor. So whenever we're wearing clothes that are made of polyester or plastics, it's like not only are we stopping our vibration from fully being an expression in the world, we're also stopping the vibration coming in. So we're not completely in tune with the vibrations of the universe around us. And so when we wear cotton, cotton is of the same essence as actually my counterpart, which really I see him as a divine masculine that is more of like a universal counterpart, because that has also been helping me in letting go, is because I understand that I'm not the only one that feels um, that is on a spiritual awakening across from him. He's a guide for life, and I'm being guided to through this spiritual awakening, which I also feel like I am guiding through this spiritual awakening, because as I go through it, I'm bringing it forward, just like this video about letting go. And so he showed me a video about the vibration, about different materials and the vibrations that they have, and that cotton vibrates at the same frequency or the same uh, uh, fastness as we do. And whereas polyester or something like that, the plastic materials vibrate at a at a vibration of like 15, which is almost like death. I need to find, I want to do a video about it. I need to find, there was a woman that did a study on it. And so I want to empty out my whole closet of everything that isn't 100% cotton, linen, wool, viscose, natural materials. So I'm going to leave only natural materials. So that's just a side note. So it's all about your self-worth. The next one is that on this twin flame journey, the rejection hurts so bad. Being rejected, it's like you're rejecting yourself. The rejection hurts so bad that we do anything to avoid that rejection. We make up stories in our minds. We follow we follow the stories, so that we don't have to deal with that pain of the loss. But once we're willing to quit making up the stories, it is what it is. The stories, regardless, it doesn't matter. In the physical world, there is a separation. As long as there is a separation, I need to be bringing all of that focus back to me and start building my life from within, because I have all of the power uh, within me, the power of the universe, all of the power that I am trying to get. If you look at your counterpart and you say, okay, we see our own light in our counterpart, right? We see our own vibration there. And so everything that is there that I'm trying to make myself um, worthy with is actually within me as well. I need to, whatever I'm seeing in him, to see in me and bring those are the places that I am finding weaknesses. If I'm trying to pull off his energy in certain areas, it's because I see his strength in those areas, right? So I need to find those strengths within myself because they also exist within myself. That is the whole pull in this, is that the whole pull and draw to the twin flame, or to your counterpart, is the draw to you, the your own expansion. You find parts in them that complete you. But when you know that you are of the same essence, then you can find those places within yourself and then just nourish and nurture those places within yourself, and be willing to bring that focus, make it about you. Make it about, get curious about what the draw is and make the story all about you. You can even close off it. You don't have to block or do anything like that, but you can close off that energy, bring it as much as you can. Yeah, because this is a shift. We are going to have those back and forths. We are going to be falling, coming back, because we are overcoming the ego. So as the ego starts, it's like the ego death, but the ego is going to be kicking really hard, going to be trying to keep attachment, because the ego wants to remain in power. It's just like any kind of overthrowing. You're overthrowing the power of the ego with the power of your God essence, being your higher self, which has to come through the ego. The ego is your master tool. So you have to fall in love with your ego. And it's almost like you have to put your ego into compliance. Like, we're working here together. The ego and the higher self have to work together. Otherwise, there's always an internal conflict and an internal conflict over the power. Right. So when the ego understands that you are looking out for your own ego, you're in love with your own ego, because your ego is what allows you to shine through this physical being. And another thing that I was getting is that all of the sicknesses and places that we get frustrated in, and all of those reactions, it is when we are in the ego and we're holding, because we have this light, this God light that is flowing through us. That is something that I noticed about my counterpart, is that he has the light of God flowing through him, and anybody that meets him can see it. Anybody that meets him can see that the light of God is flowing through him. And I think that's what he has done, such an enormous amount of work, and knows his self-worth. And I think that is what is completely magnetizing to him, because you are magnetized to a being that is divine, because you yearn to be that way in yourself. And that those are the mirrors that I keep on getting, that I keep on rising from. This week I went through another episode of so the rejection hurts, and you must find a way to believe it, because we get these rejections in the 3D world, but we have this energetic connection that we know that, and this love towards them, that we know it just can't be real. The rejection, we feel like, okay, they're rejecting, but this is something that is at a much deeper level. And that is why we continue allowing ourselves to chase or to try. And the rejection hurts so bad, and we just don't believe it. We just don't believe it. And at some point in this 3D world, you have to be able to believe it. You have to be able to go through that pain. Otherwise, you have to be able to go through that pain and believe that, even if it is just like you're suspending it in the air, suspend it, and bring that energy back to yourself. It's almost like it's incomprehensible the rejection. It's almost incomprehensible, but we have to quit obsessing over it. We have to let it go. We have to be able to bring that energy back to us and find something that is interesting in our own lives. Even if in the beginning it feels superficial, we know that there are things in our lives that we get into that appreciation mode, start appreciating. So that we have to accept that rejection as true, which is sometimes the most difficult thing to do. We don't believe it. We don't believe it. How could it be? And we have to find a way to get over it and move on with our lives. But that means to really get over it and really move on, not move on superficially. Okay, I'm moving on. Come back in. You have to really let it go and be willing to move on with your life. Be willing to find other interests, other aspects. Be willing to live your life without them in it. And when you're able to do this, then you can bring that focus back to yourself and you can find your own light. And it's like slowly you heal yourself. But it's a shifting that happens. It's a shifting, and it is a part of this journey. It will happen on its own when you allow and when you request from the universe. But you have to really request, because a lot of times it's so difficult to let go of that, because all of a sudden your life becomes empty, or it feels like it's empty. Um, you have to move on with your life and find meaning. That is the message. And the rest of it, it is all an illusion, and we are all part of the same thing. So all of this existence, it is an illusion. It is it is an experience. It is all of your life is only stories. You are right now just a piece of meat right here in the without the stories, there is no history and there is no projection of the future. It's just you and all options open at all times. So there is a magnificent shift that when you start shifting, you start coming into your power and you start feeling like a powerful being, and you come into the now. And it's like you get to enter this place of bliss and curiosity where all options are open and you have your own life power back to you. So I'm sending you guys so much love. Thank you for watching. Begin the shift. So sending you guys lots of love.